Right, so in today's video I'm going to be testing out the stabilization modes on the newly released DJI Osmo Nano. But just before I get into the video, I'm just going to go over to the screen's interface for you now to show you the stabilization modes and see what options we've got there. Right, so to find the stabilization modes on the Nano, first of all you're going to need to be in video mode, and then you'll just swipe up from the bottom, and then in the top right you'll just hit that icon. And then just to the left, you'll see the stabilization modes, and the first one on the list is when it's deactivated, which is called off. And the next one in line is rock steady. And then the other one is horizon balancing. And then when you back out of the menu, you'll see there's another option there to the right. If you just hit that icon, you'll see underneath it says stabilization scenario. And then when you hit that, we've just got an option of daily, sport, or anti-motion blur. So this is just your scenario, so we'll leave it in daily, as that recommends this is for walking or vlogging. So in today's testing I'm going to be doing these stabilization modes in an open area around this field here, and then I'll be repeating the same test inside. I say inside, it's got no roof on it, so inside / outside. And then the main reason I'll be going inside that building behind me is because we'll have all the walls surrounding me, so we can really keep an eye on that stabilization. So first of all I'm going to deactivate the stabilization, so I'm going to switching it off and see what that looks like. Here we go. Right, so this is with all the stabilization deactivated, so everything's switched off there in the menus. And you probably can't tell, you might get a little bit of shake now as I'm holding the selfie stick, but you're probably really going to start noticing as I start walking. So I'm just walking normally here. The Nano's on the selfie stick approximately 30 meters away, approximately 30 centimeters away from me. I'm just walking normally. So what's the footage look like here? Can we get away with deactivating stabilization with this Nano? And now I'm pointing the camera away from me, so now I'll start walking. And I should imagine you see more difference with this stabilization turned off when it's pointing away, as you're keeping an eye on the land there and the surroundings. When it's facing me, it does look a little bit better, to be fair. So that's what stabilization turned off looks like whilst walking. And now it's time to pick the pace up a little bit. So once again, it's all switched off but facing me. And now I'm jogging with the Nano. This coat's going to be coming off soon. So now I'm jogging with the Nano. What's the stability look like? Is it usable or not? I mean, I can't see through the vision dock how stable that is, as it is a bit of an overcast, cloudy day today. I was hoping for a bit more blue. Well, I live in the UK and this time of year is getting a bit challenging now for decent weather. So what's the stabilization look like when it's switched off whilst jogging? And now I'll turn it round, point the camera away from me and repeat the same process. This is coming off soon. Right, so now let's see what it looks like with the camera facing away from me when I start picking the pace up. Okay, so now I'm starting jogging again. I'm holding it as still as possible. What does the footage look like? Is it usable or is it just a shaky mess? And now I'm going to start walking normally with rock steady enabled. So it's just the same test. The Nano's in the same settings. It's approximately 30 centimeters away, not 30 meters away from me. So what's the footage look like with rock steady enabled whilst walking normally? So now rock steady is enabled, and this is what it looks like pointing away from me, walking at a normal pace. I can imagine it's a lot better than when I had all stabilization turned off. Right, now it's time for rock steady whilst picking the pace up a little bit. So this is what rock steady looks like whilst jogging. Once again, is it usable? And is the picture holding together? Is it not wobbling all over the place? Or is it? So this is rock steady whilst jogging. And now it's time to get jogging with the camera pointing away from me. So once again, this is rock steady enabled. And what's the footage look like now? I can imagine it's a lot better than when it was switched off. And is it more stable or just the same as I were walking compared to this running. Right, I've took my coat off now, getting a bit hot running around. So the next one on the list is called horizon balancing stabilization. Now if you're new to this, on the older DJI cameras it used to be you can't exceed the 45-degree mark, and as soon as you did the screen would start to rotate and move there. But on the Nano they've changed it slightly, you can now not exceed 30 degrees. I don't know why they've done that, but that's what they've done, so let's continue with the testing. Right, I think the best way to do this so you can see exactly how it works is me filming it. Okay, so as you can see it's in a upright position, and as long as I stay underneath that 30-degree mark going left or right, as you'll see from the footage, the horizon stays true and level. And now when I exceed the 30-degree mark, you see the screen starts to rotate. That's funny that, because I was just getting used to the 45-degree mark from DJI, and now they've put it to 30 degrees. So if you're listening DJI, why have you done that? 45 degrees gives you more flexibility. I think if anything they should have like raised it to maybe 60 degrees, not made it lower. And then once again I'm just going to keep it under 30 degrees so you can see. So that's going to be great if you attach it to a chest harness or on a baseball cap. And then if it goes offline slightly, as I'm showing you right now, it doesn't matter. That horizon's going to stay level. And now I'm walking with horizon balancing on. And as you can see from the footage, it's in a vertical position. But I'm going to carry on walking with it slightly offset there. So you can see it's not level. But when you look at the screen right now, the footage is completely level. And then I'll just sway it back the other way. And as long as I keep under 30 degrees, that's going to be true and straight the horizon there. And just to show you, if I exceed that 30-degree mark, well, you see now that screen started to rotate. So once again, this horizon balancing is going to be great if you put it on your chest harness or attached to a cap there. Especially with the weight of this Nano, it's so light, it'll be just like putting a chest harness on without a camera attached. So I'd strongly recommend put horizon balancing on when attached to a chest harness or a baseball cap. And now I'm done in the open area behind me through all the stabilization modes, and now it's time to get inside there. I say inside, no roof again. And now I've left it in horizon balancing, so I want you to keep an eye on the stabilization there as I'm walking and talking. Is it just like the Rocksteady? Obviously it's going to be better than no stabilization there. And now if I move, you can see my elbow moving. As long as I keep it under 30 degree there, that screen's going to stay level. And now I'll just exceed that, and you can see it starts to rotate. But once again, why have you changed it, DJI, from 45 degrees to 30? Who knows? Right, so now I've come inside the building and I've switched all stabilization off. As you can probably tell, I've got a bit of wobble there. That's why I've come inside here, because we can keep an eye on all the walls here as I move around. Look, look, you can pick up the stabilization a lot more when you've got some walls around you rather than just in an open area. That's why I'm doing both testing and that today. So that's walking with stabilization switched off with the camera towards me. And now I'll spin the camera around. Again, just do a steady walk. Let's compare that. So this is with all stabilization switched off and the camera's facing away from me this time. And I can see that looks rather wobbly. As I said, when I was looking through in an open area, I couldn't really see much wobble. But inside, it's really going for it. As you can see there. And now I've switched over to Rocksteady. And as you can probably see from that footage, we haven't got anything dancing around now. There's nothing wobbling around, is there, in the footage? Although I'm only viewing through the vision dock, which is really small. You'll be viewing this on a bigger monitor, hopefully. And now I've spun the camera around. I'm still in Rocksteady. And once again, you should see significant difference from when it was switched off. Right, coats off for this one. So we're still in Rocksteady, Now I'm going to pick the pace up and go jog around inside these walls. So how's the hand holding out here? We're rock steady enabled whilst jogging. If it's as good as the Action 5 Pro or the Action 4, then I know it's going to be great going forward. Whilst running, I'm not going to be running everywhere with it though. Right. If I bang my head then. Right, so that's the stabilisation whilst running, facing towards me. Repeat the same process with the camera spun round. Here we go. Okay, so this is now rock steady enabled yet again. I'm just jogging round. Again, the selfie pole's in my hand. I'm not really taking much care. I hold it just in a vertical position whilst jogging. What does the footage look like, and is it usable? Coat's still off. Right, so now we've got horizon balancing activated, and this time I'm going to go a steady walk. I don't need to film it again because I've just shown you that outside exactly how it works. Plus it's quite difficult to hold one camera and do it with other. So I'm just walking now at a normal pace, and horizon balance is activated here. And you'll see by my elbow as I'm moving, that screen's going to stay level now because I'm under that 30-degree mark. And now I'll exceed that 30-degree mark and the screen will start rotating, as you can see. And now keep it vertical as I'm walking. Is there any difference in stabilisation when this horizon balance is activated to the rock steady, and definitely when it's switched off? And now I'm walking with horizon balancing on, with the camera facing away from me this time. And now I'm just moving my elbow. I know you can't see me this time, but I'm keeping it under the 30-degree right now. So I'm swaying it just under 30 right now. And then I'm just going to go just above it, and you'll see it start to rotate. And yet again, I'm going to go just underneath it as I'm moving. I know you can't see my elbow this time, but I am doing it. And then once again, I'll just go beyond 30 degrees right now, and it'll start moving. So now I'm going to pick the pace up with horizon balancing activated. So I'm going to jog and keep flaring my elbow out at the same time. So this is really testing out the software inside of the Nano. So I'm not only jogging, I'm swaying the camera at the same time. So that's rather interesting if this screen is completely level the whole time whilst doing this. That's quite amazing really. It's not only stabilising the footage, it's keeping it level whilst you're moving. That's amazing. Right. Like I'm flapping one wing in it all the way around. And now just keep running and exceed that 30. And the screen rotates. Is the footage stable apart from when I exceed that 30 degree? Coat's back on because I'm done now. On and off all day this has been today. So what do you think to them stabilisation modes today? So when it's switched off, it's very shaky. So where I'd use that basically is on a tripod. If it was static, if I wanted a different field of view, as you know, it's about 14mm there. Or if you wanted to put an ND filter on, because if you put an ND filter on while stabilisation is activated and you're walking and jogging around there, you get a jello effect on the edges. And then when you enable rock steady, that's going to be great for everyday scenarios, from walking around vlogging to jogging, as you've seen. And then finally, with that horizon balancing stabilisation, that's great, especially with the Nano, as it's really lightweight. If you attach it to your chest harness or a hat, sometimes it may slip and go offline there. So I'd highly recommend using horizon balancing when attached to a chest harness or a baseball cap. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today, and now that you've seen the stabilisation modes on the Nano, it's up to you which one you select there. I'd highly recommend, for any day situations, just keep rock steady enabled and you'll be good to go. So as always, do stay tuned to the channel, as there's going to be plenty more videos on the horizon, especially with testing out this newly released Nano. But for now, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and bye for now.